Hello and good morning. So my name's Baz Kinder. I'm the Commercial Director of Wellington and long-term Microsoft project and planner and even perhaps consultant. I started my PMO journey back in 2005, but there's a range of us here today and co-presenting is Katie Ehrenmar. Katie, would you like to say hello?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm Katie. I'm Operations Manager at Wellingtone. I've been at Wellingtone for around 6 years now. Prior to that, working in the PMO within local government and NHS, and even being a client of Wellingtone in the past, long ago, using Microsoft Project Server. But more recently, joining Wellingtone as a PPM consultant, deploying Microsoft Project solutions with our clients. And now within my role as operations manager, that includes overseeing our R&D roadmap. So being heavily involved with our new products, such as the time management app that we're here to see today. So that's me. Thanks, Baz.
Brilliant. Sarah, would you like to say good morning?
Hi, good morning all. My name is Sarah NG. You might have spoken to me before. I'm one of the account managers here at Wellingtone. I work alongside Bradley.
Talking of whom, Bradley?
Yeah, morning all. Lots of familiar faces on here, so I have spoken to you previously, a lot of you. But yeah, I'm a client manager here at Wellingtone, have been for the last couple of years, and yeah, supporting our clients with new features and functionality brought from ourselves and Microsoft. So yeah, I'll be here in the chat, so answering any questions that you're dropping as we go.
And talking of which, if you have got any questions during the presentation today, there is a Q&A option right at the very top of the Teams menu bar. So please do raise your questions. We will be doing that as a live segment at the very end. And for anything else, keep an eye on the chat. And over my colleague Hannah will probably be dropping in some links into that window as appropriate. But for now, I'm going to turn my camera off so I can really focus on the presentation, and I'm going to start sharing my screen. You'll be pleased to know that the slide decks are going to be kept pretty light this morning. There's only a handful of slides because the main focus is very much on the live demonstration, which will be led by Katie, who oversaw the development of the timesheet app itself. So, okay, let's dive into this. So we've been around since 2001, and we've got 3 distinct service areas spanning technology, consultancy and training. And on the technology side in particular, we've been a Microsoft Gold certified project and portfolio management partner since 2009. And in 2024, we were also recognized as being one of the top 4 partners globally. You can learn a lot more about Wellington by going to wellington.co.uk. And I've got some other web addresses coming up actually on this slide. So we have got other locations. Myself and the team, we're based in the UK, but we've also got a team in Spain, a team in Ireland, India, and the US, and you can see the respective web addresses there at the bottom. And this brings us on to today's topic, which is, of course, time management. And what is more fitting than this quote from Peter Drucker? Time is the scarcest resource, and unless it is managed, nothing else can be managed. And of course, the time management app that we've now created helps you to manage that time. The app that we have, it's built entirely on the Microsoft Power Platform, primarily Power Apps and Power BI for the reporting side, and it contains a wide range of capability as outlined on this screen. Of course, you can scan that QR code and go straight to the web page that explains this in greater detail. But of course, Katie is going to be demonstrating all of this live in just a minute or so. The time management app, it's available at a fixed price of £9,950. It's something that can be used standalone, or it could be used in conjunction with the Wellington Accelerator Plus. And of course, that makes it a really compelling offering for those that are using Project Online and specifically using timesheets within Project Online, which we now know is going to be retired by September 2026. So without any further delay, we are going to head over to the demo. So Katie, would you like to take over the screen? And whilst Katie's doing that, let me again remind you that you can raise questions using the Q&A panel, which is available at the top of the Teams menu bar. And I can already see we've got quite a few questions coming in. But Katie, over to you.
Thanks, Baz. I'll just share my screen. Okay, so hopefully everyone can see my screen. So as Baz has already mentioned, the time management app can be deployed as a completely standalone app. So no requirements for any of our other apps, but it can also be added as an extension to the Accelerator Plus, which is great if you're looking to capture time against projects, against tasks in your schedules. And that can be demonstrated on my screen at the moment. So if you do have the Accelerator Plus, this homepage may look familiar. You can see we can add here a tile that takes you with one click, takes you straight to your timesheets. And if we have a look at the navigation, we can also add a timesheeting area as well, so it can be accessed directly within the Accelerator Plus app. For the rest of the demonstration, I'm just going to hop over to a separate app, so you can see we can, regardless whether you're using the Accelerator Plus or not, we can implement the time management app as its own app and really focus on the time management elements. So when landing on the time management app, we have a user-specific dashboard. So this is all information relating to my timesheets and highlighting specific elements, such as the number of hours that I've completed against specific categories and specific projects. I can see the time that I've submitted, which is working versus non-working time within the past month. And scrolling down, I can see my most recent timesheets by approval status. So showing how many have been approved, how many have been rejected and may need to be revisited. And we also have a list here of my most recent timesheets, which I can drill down into and go straight into my timesheet as well. So let's click into the timesheet period for the current week. Okay, so I could also navigate to the time entry on the left-hand side. And when I arrive in the time entry area, I can see my current timesheet, which might be pre-populated with defined entries based on my configuration. So we can see, for example, I've got non-project time always displayed on my timesheet. But I can also add other items to my timesheet. Up in the left, I can add time entry, and that might be non-project work, such as maybe meetings or administration. All of this would be customizable based on your ways of working. So non-project time, I've also got non-working time. So this might be things like annual leave or sickness. I could add personal time, which is actually free text. So anything that doesn't really fit into those other categories. If you are working with the Accelerator Plus, then we can also pull through tasks directly from the Accelerator Plus. And this is at different levels. So it could be I could record time against my pipeline items, or if I'm looking at project items, it could be recording time at a project level, or even against specific tasks or assignments, which is those tasks that are assigned to me. So let's just hop over to an earlier timesheet that I've already completed. So from the list, I'm going to select this week. And you can see if I just open up those items, I've already recorded a lot of time, up to 8 hours each day. So I can see in the top right, I've got 40 hours against my timesheet. In the ribbon, I can see I've already added some comments as well that will go to the approver. So I'm just going to go ahead and submit my timesheet. And we can see now that that has been submitted for approval. So now, wearing my designated approver's hat, I'm going to pop over to the timesheet approvals area in the navigation. So assuming that approvals have been set up in the system, as they can also be automated, then here I will see a list of submitted timesheets that are pending my approval. So I'm just going to go into this one, clicking into the details. I can go ahead and drill down in, and I can see all of the detail that's been submitted, just as we saw in the time entry area. As an approver, I can add in some comments, and if I'm happy, I can go ahead and approve, or I can reject, which would send my comments back to the user, and then they can provide some more detail before submitting that back. So I'm going to go ahead and approve that one. So just jumping back as a user into my time entry area, we can see that this has now been approved. And if I look at the list of periods in the top right, we can see which of those periods have been approved. We can see by the cross that one's been rejected. So I could go back in and provide some more information. If I wanted to provide additional information on a timesheet that has already been approved, this would be locked down. So we can see I can't add time in there, but we do have designated admins that can access the admin mode. Now, what that enables those specific users to do is go into admin mode and be able to select any user within the tool. So let's select Demo P5. I can access the approved timesheet. And I can actually unlock that timesheet, which means it can be edited and then resubmitted for approval with that additional time. So that is our admin mode. As well as admin modes, we do have a settings area, again, specifically for access by those admin users. And this would include things like the management of users, the management of approvers, and the provision of settings. So settings like setting the minimum and maximum number of hours that can be submitted. So you can define that users would have to submit at least 37 hours per week, for example. You can enable whether weekend working is permitted. So in this example, you can see I'm not able to submit time against Saturdays and Sundays, but that can be enabled. And we can also enable, as I mentioned earlier, we can enable approvals, or timesheets can be auto approved. So that's just to name a few of the settings that are available. Now, settings can be applied across the system, so they'd be assigned to all users, or they can also be assigned to groups of users. And this can help to ensure unified ways of working to meet different needs of different business areas. So we can set up templates for specific business areas that might, for example, have different items that they record time against, different working patterns, or different approvers. So that is our time entry area. So lastly, to bring all of the data together, we have got the timesheet reports, which are in Power BI. So I'll just open those. And so you can see with the time management app, we have 5 reports. We have the outstanding timesheet status. We have timesheet status by period, timesheet data, timesheet user summary, and timesheet project summary. So we have these status reports that help us to monitor the completion and compliance of timesheets. So very quick and easy to identify where timesheets have not been created or submitted, and maybe ones that have been rejected as well. We then have some more detailed reports that go into the data that's been submitted. So if we need to do more detailed reviews, we have a breakdown of the timesheet data. And for Accelerator Plus users, we have project reports as well that help us to reconcile the data that has been submitted in timesheets against the number of hours that are captured in schedules. So we can see and identify if there are any differences, or if those schedules are matching the actual time that's been completed. Okay, so that's our time management app and the reports that come with it. So we can see it's very simple, very intuitive to use, really quick to submit our time on a weekly basis. So Baz, I'll hand back to you. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, well, that brings us to the end, and I just want to say thank you very much for taking the times out of your busy days to join us. But guys, have a great day ahead, and that is all from us. Thank you.